Hello, this is Brian J. talking about women's MMA. I want to do a little post-fight analysis on the Cynthia Calvillo fight against Joanne Calderwood. People are saying that Joanne was robbed, even though it was in her home country in Scottsdale. It was in Scotland. So I don't really understand how anybody could say she was robbed or that Cynthia's a hype job. Now, Joanne is ranked number 8. So if Joanne, somebody on YouTube, I think it was Coach Sherrilton or somebody that pointed out on YouTube, he also talks about women's MMA. He pointed out that how is Cynthia a hype job if she beat Joanne, who's not a hype job. So she didn't beat someone who's not ranked at a hype job. How does that make Cynthia a hype job? It's true, I don't think Cynthia's a hype job at all. Dana White usually tries to hype up fighters that have like a lighter complexion, blonde hair, blue eyes, that look white. Well, Cynthia isn't white, obviously, but he's hyping her up because she talks a lot of trash. She has a sunny personality, and she has an exciting personality. She talks a lot of trash. She knows how to hype herself up, and she's actually a really good fighter. Now, her fight against Joanne, I thought Cynthia did really well on the outside, countering with her hands. She busted up Joanne's face. She busted her up. Her nose was bloody. Her face was bruised up. And Cynthia was using good lateral movement and countering really well. And people try to say that the fight was boring. Well, it was very technical. It was exciting in moments, but it was a very technical fight. And it was exciting to watch for me because I'm seeing these two women actually pacing themselves and countering really well and looking for openings and looking to see who's going to make a mistake. And Cynthia is dealing with a Muay Thai specialist. Joanne Calderwood's specialty is Muay Thai. So Cynthia had to learn to adapt to that and try to counter and outwork and land the cleaner shots against a Muay Thai specialist. And Cynthia's stand-up has gotten better. She showed some good stand-up against Pearl Gonzalez a good 3 months ago. And she's improved greatly against Joanne. And she took her down at the right moment. Like in the first round, I thought that the first 4 minutes could have gone either way. And then Cynthia took her down and landed some strikes and tried to get a submission. The second round was also very close, but I gave it to Joanne because she was landing the better strikes, the kicks to the body. She was landing more leg kicks, more kicks to the leg, and I thought she did a better job at that. But the third round was also really close. I thought Joanne was winning the first 4 minutes. I thought she was countering really well, and she was dominating on the outside. But Cynthia was also countering really well, and then she got the takedown in the last minute, and she almost got a submission. So I think Cynthia stole the third round, so I had 2 rounds to 1, which would be 29-28 for Cynthia. And, it's a close fight. I mean, it probably could have gone either way, but was Joanne robbed, like in her hometown? I don't think so. I think the judges saw that Cynthia was just edging her out. And the second round probably could have gone to Cynthia as well because she was countering really well on the outside. She was landing more strikes with her hands. She was landing the more visually impacting strikes. And when I say that, I mean the strikes that the judges are actually going to see. The strikes that the judges are really going to notice. And Cynthia's strikes to the head were strikes that you could clearly see, and it had an effect on Joanne. And Joanne's face was busted up. So yeah, I think Cynthia won the fight. I'm glad she won the fight because, she's a new, exciting prospect. I feel like fans just want to criticize anybody who's new, who's coming up. It's like, why do that? We need new blood. We need new young blood in women's MMA or MMA in general to continue on with the sport. And I think Cynthia is new blood. And she's going to be an exciting prospect for the next few years. I think she might even get a title shot by next year for the strawweight title. Now, I think Joanna Jędrzejczyk's going to move up to 125 and fight for that belt sometime next spring. I think in next springtime or next summer. Like in the spring or the summer of 2018, she's going to fight for the 125-pound belt when she moves up from 115 because Joanna is struggling to make 115 right now. And Cynthia is also struggling to make 115. So who knows? Maybe Cynthia will move up to 125. So I don't know. Either way, I'm a big fan of Cynthia Calvillo. Like, I've been a fan of her since she submitted Amanda Cooper, because I hate Amanda Cooper. I've never liked Amanda Cooper. Tough, I think it was Tough 23 it was, I think, for the season where Joanna Jędrzejczyk was facing off against Claudia Cadella's team. They were both coaches, and Tatiana Suarez was fighting on The Ultimate Fighter, and she won. I think she's the third woman to win The Ultimate Fighter, because I know the first woman to win The Ultimate Fighter was Juliana Pena, I think, which was Tough season 18 with Ronda Rousey, Miesha Tate. And then the second woman was for, I think it was probably for Tough 20, which is the introduction to the strawweight division for the UFC. Well, I mean, for the 16 women that fought on that season. And the winner of that season actually won the UFC title for strawweight, which was Carla Esparza. She won the Ultimate Fighter, won the money, and got the belt. And then she lost the belt during her first title defense against Joanna the very next year, back in March of 2015. So Joanna beat the hell out of her. So the third woman, I think, to win the Ultimate Fighter, I hope somebody corrects me if I'm wrong about this, I think the third woman to win would have been Tatiana Suarez when she submitted Amanda Cooper. And I love Tatiana Suarez, and I look forward to her coming back. Anyways, this is about Cynthia. Cynthia, I've been a huge fan of her ever since she beat Amanda Cooper. Then she beat Pearl Gonzalez, and now she just upset Joanna. And she's a skilled fighter. You know, Cynthia was ranked number 14. She beat the ranked number 8 fighter. So I hope Cynthia's next fight will be against somebody else who's in the top 10 or somewhere close to it. Maybe she could fight Paige Van Zandt or Michelle Waterson, or she could fight Felice Herring. I think Cynthia would probably lose to Michelle Waterson. Michelle Waterson's a great striker. What I don't like is that Michelle keeps fighting in the southpaw stance. It's making her like susceptible to get countered, you know, with kicks by somebody skilled. That's what happened against Rose Namajunas. You know, Michelle Waterson is fighting in southpaw stance in her karate style. She drops her left hand and opens her right up for a right leg kick, which Rose landed, almost landed the first time, and she landed the second time when she timed it really well. And she beat the hell out of Michelle Waterson and submitted her. So I think Michelle needs to stick to orthodox, because that's how she was winning fights in the first place, instead of just switching southpaw all the time. But if Michelle Waterson fought Cynthia, I think she could beat Cynthia. Maybe win by submission or a decision in a 3-round fight. But Cynthia, she's game. She's a banger. She's going to give everybody a tough fight, no matter who she fights. But I wouldn't mind seeing Cynthia against Felice Herring, because Felice Herring wants to get a big shot. She's a little bit insecure, looking down on herself, thinking she's not young and beautiful. I mean, she's cute and she's young, so I don't know why she would say anything like that, but that's how she feels. But yeah, she deserves maybe a rematch against Paige Van Zandt, or fight Cynthia or Michelle Waterson or somebody. I think Rose Namajunas is going to get a title shot against Joanna in Madison Square Garden in November. That would be great if that happens, but we'll have to see. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Cynthia-Joanne fight. I think it was a close fight. Probably could go either way depending on how you scored the third round, but I think Cynthia stole it. I think she got it. She won the first round, the third round on my scorecard, and she won. She went to, I think, Scottsdale. She went to Scotland. I mean, you know, and fought Joanne in her home country, and Cynthia got the decision. And that's my thoughts on it. So this is Brian J. talking about women's MMA. I might make another video in the next few hours, I think, just talking about women's MMA. All right, this is Brian J. signing off.